Unlocking real estate wealth. Today, we're going to go over the combination, the 3 steps to line up to make sure you open the vault to create wealth in real estate. Hey, everyone, it's Mike Bond with the Cash Flow Company. Today, we're going to run through the combination. How do you unlock this vault? How do you make sure you're one of the 5% who's making good money in real estate investing and not the 95% who struggle, who stress out, who just don't make money in this and go on to something else? We want to make sure you have the combination to open this vault and make sure you are one of the lucky ones making some good money. So it's simple, it's easy. The key is to be able to buy a good property when it pops up, when it becomes available to you, and then to get it finished and back on the market as soon as possible. Sounds simple, right? But this is probably the number one thing that we see that's missing in opening that vault, opening the money where people miss the combination and they end up sitting on a property instead of sitting on a bunch of cash in their pocket. We want to make sure you line these 3 things up. Get the right combo from the property to the main funding to the available funds. Line them up for the property that you're looking at just to open that vault. And believe me, this is what the successful real estate investors do. They have it lined up. They make sure when properties come available that they have the money. They have the funds set aside or the right combination of funds to take down the property, to get it done, to get it back in market, get that money, put it in their bank and enjoy life. It is simple and they all start from the same point. Most of them had no money, so no money is no problem. It's just setting this up to win. That's why real estate investing is so great, because anyone from any walk of life, we've seen people without a high school education, with a graduate degree, from a small town to a large town, make great money in real estate, but it's setting up the other part of real estate, which is the combination to make sure you get those good deals. You're the one who secures them, and then you get them done as fast as possible and on the market. So we want that combination. We want that vault open to understand which each property, each funding source, and what you have available, so you make sure you hit the right combination yourself. So here's the vault, here's the combination. Number one is the property. So when a deal comes to you, this property can be different. I mean, a lot of them are just cookie cutter, not maybe 60% of them, but the other 40%, especially the good deals, have some uniqueness to them. Number one, it may be just a deal that needs to close fast. A wholesaler had a property. It fell through at the end. He needs to sell it or he's not going to make any money. They need to close in 2 or 3 days. That property, maybe not unique in the property, but it's a unique as far as the closing. So you may need a different combination when we go to step 2. Or maybe it's the opposite of that, and it's just a great deal. That means it's like a Sherman-Williams, like buy it, 2 or 3 weeks, it's back on the market. The profit margins aren't going to be huge, but it's quick, fast, you get good money. The market is hot for that product. You want to buy, get it done, get some money in your pocket in like 2 or 3 months. Or this great deal comes to you and it's unique in the sense that it's larger than you usually do, or smaller, or in a rural area. It is out of the box of your typical lender, or you maybe just hit the maximum number of deals you could do with that lender, and you need to open another combination to get that deal. It all comes back to, when we're looking at this, we understand the profit is in the purchase. That's where you're going to make the money. That's where you're going to create the wealth. We just have to unlock it so you get that property, you get it done, and you get that money in your bank. So number one part of opening this vault is understanding the property when it pops up, making sure you have everything lined up and understand the next combination in opening this vault. And that is getting the primary lender, the bulk of the money, like in a fix and flip, just a standard fix and flip. It's the lender that's going to probably lend you 90% of the purchase, 100% of the rehab. But what if that lender, like what we said, we have this unique deal in the sense that it has to close in 3 days. Those kind of lenders are probably not going to be able to hit that mark. So you're going to have to figure out your next combo based on that property. Is what's the lender that's going to lend you the bulk of your deal, your fix and flip lender, whatever it may be, your hard money lender, your bank, that's going to be able to pull this off in such a short time. Or if that property that you're going to buy to, tap into that money that's out there is, maybe a pop top, or maybe it's the Sherman-Williams that the profits are lower. So you're going to have to make sure you get the best, cheapest financing on that, just to make sure you secure those profits. Each property, based on what it is, remember, maybe it's a quick sale that you need to purchase, or maybe it's just something that you need to, get the cheapest funding because margins are thin, but it's a great deal you could get right back on the market or somewhere in between. One of those properties is going to determine your next combination number, which is which lender can help you with that. Typically, when you're doing real estate investing, you're kind of in one box and you have your lender set up. But combinations will change because maybe those lenders change, maybe requirements change, maybe you have your credit score went down. And then what do you do when a good deal comes? Because remember, we're talking about securing really good deals, opening the vault for those deals that are going to bring in 5 to maybe even 10% more in profits. That is the key to real estate investing. Not only opening that lock and making sure you line up the right lender to cover that particular property, but it's also what number is required on number 3. So remember, we have the property. We know what number it is. It's like, okay, this property is a quick buy. This is a major repair, or it's rural or whatever. So that starts out your combination. Your next combination based on that is what lender is going to pull this off and make sure I realize those profits. So the third one based on those two numbers is your available funds. How much do you have to contribute to this property and have available to make sure it goes quickly through the process? One of the biggest things we see is people who are not money ready going into a transaction like this, and they figure it out later. They bootstrap it, they do whatever they can to get the number 3, which is your available funds, which, that comes into based on number 1 and 2, how much do you have to put down? What are going to be the closing costs? What are the other things, like insurance requirements, your escrows? Are you going to pre-fund escrows? You have to make sure on this particular property or any property you have every combo set up that could happen so you never miss these good deals. That's the key to real estate investing, getting better deals, getting them purchased and getting them through the system as fast as possible. It's as simple as that. And it's the right combination for each property based on your lender and the monies you need. Remember, the monies you need can come from, lines of credit, business credit cards, HELOCs, cash, real OPM, that means real other people's money. It could come from a partner. It could be, a combination of that. Maybe I just have savings and a partner, or maybe I have all of these things. So this particular property, based on everything else I have going, here is where my available funds are going to come to cover those down payments, cover those payments, and any surprises that come up, because surprises come up. That's one of the things that slow people down when surprises happen. They didn't budget. The lender doesn't have the money, so they try to figure out how to pay the contractor, how to cover those expenses. And their, 3-month remodel becomes 6, 8, 10, 12. We've seen it take 2 years and just sap all the money out of the deal and sap everything out of them as far as investing or wanting to keep investing. Sometimes it's just like get in, get it through, and get it sold and on to the next deal. So we want to make sure you can open that vault when you find the great property, because we know that's where the profits are in the buy, that you have the combination for anything that pops up. You have the main lender, you have the available funds, you get a purchase, you get it through the system, and you put that money in your bank. That's what the 5% do all the time. Like I said before, when you find those deals that have 5, 10, 20% more margin on it, you have to grab those. It's always those outliers that push you over the top. You have to do your bread and butter deals, but you also have to every once in a while hit a home run. You can't always hit singles. You need to hit a home run in this investing world to get you to that next level, which is the freedom, to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, and have the money to do that. That's what real estate investing is about. We want to make sure you have the combination. You're always set up to make this smooth. We've been doing this for 25 years. The one thing we see is that most people who struggle don't have the right setup. They don't have all their numbers aligned, or they don't understand the whole flow of how a good property, when it comes available to them, how to get it closed, how to get it through the system, and how to put that money in their bank. So make sure you have the combination. Make sure any property that comes up, any deal that comes up, quick closes, lower margins, but quick turns, bigger projects, smaller communities, whatever the uniqueness is, even if it's just like buy it and, hotel it, get it right back in the property. Make sure you have the right combination to align the property with the major funding and available credit just so you keep putting money in your own vault. Open up this vault to put the money in your vault. And that's the key to real estate investing. So many people focus, and they should, on the property and buying the property. That's where all the profits. When they get over to the money side, the lending side, they kind of shut down. And it really comes down to just simple little steps of learning, understanding, getting the full picture. If you want, we have a great ebook, 100% financing, 100% of the time, or we have some great resources on our website, thecashflowcompany.com. Go look at the freebies. We have some stuff there to help you because we want you to walk through until you feel comfortable with the money side so you can spend 80 to 90% of where you should, which is finding the good properties and knowing you have that combination to open the vault, to buy those properties and enjoy life.